So because our level is pretty much one entire image, and what I mean by that is our background and our platforms and our sign are all embedded in this single image, we're going to have to create a brand new actor that we kind of use as the collision area where our hero comes in contact with. So what I'm going to do is create a brand new actor by hitting the plus sign, and I'm going to rename this actor Ground. And it's very important not to confuse this with background. It's kind of easy to do that. So we'll just call this Set, and then we'll leave this one as Ground. And we can leave ground either white or black. It doesn't matter what color we give it right now because we're actually going to turn off its visibility. Now when we turn off its visibility, it's still there and our hero can come in contact with it, but then we don't see it anymore. So we want to start lining up the ground. So I'll drag that into the stage here. And we just want to kind of mimic the ground that we have in our scene here. So I know that I kind of want my character to run along through this grass here. Now if this is too high, it's going to look like he's floating in outer space. So we want to put that below the grass line. It's okay if our hero is kind of embedded in these weeds a little bit. That's what we want. So I'll extend this across. And again, it's okay if we kind of give it a little bit of leeway. That way it doesn't look like our character is floating in outer space. So I can hold the Alt key and click and drag to duplicate this ground, and then I'm just going to line it up with the other platform that we have here. So something like that looks good. And then again, Alt and Option key, click and drag, and I've duplicated the ground again. And I'm just going to go ahead and place that about here. Alt and Option key to duplicate, and then this one I have to grab this handle right here to rotate. I'm just going to line that up. Now it's really important that you don't create any weird lips. So for instance, you can see that this surface connects with this surface perfectly, and I don't have something like this because of course our actor is going to kind of smash into that and then get stuck. So you want to watch out for those. If your actor is getting stuck, then that's probably the reason. Again, Alt and Option key, I'll duplicate that, rotate it back until it's flat. And then again, I'm going to be careful up here that I don't create any weird lips, because if my actor were to fall over here and try to get back, he'd kind of just bump into that, and then your player wouldn't understand why. But as long as we line it up as we've done here, we should be good. And then last but not least, we want to set up this platform up here. So we'll make this much smaller. And just make sure that all lines up well. Take a moment to just double check all those points. Everything looks pretty good. So now that we have our ground surface set up, and we can actually add one more here as our wall. Don't forget about that. You don't want your character to able to fly off your stage. So we'll set that up as one wall over here, and then of course finish it with another wall over there as well. So now what you want to do is double click on the ground actor, and there's a few physics things that we want to set up here. So in the physics pull down, we want to open that up, and we want to take bounciness down to 0. We also want to set fixed rotation, and we want to make sure that this ground surface is completely not movable. So let's back up. Let's preview that, just make sure everything looks okay. Again, if you get this blank screen here, just go ahead and refresh by clicking this circle that we see right here. So that's looking exactly the way it should. So let's back up, and let's quickly add our hero into our scene. And if we preview this again, you can see our hero is just floating there but doesn't do anything. So what we want to do now is give our hero some gravity and the ability to collide with the ground surfaces that we just created. So we'll double click on our hero actor. We're going to open up our behaviors tab, and we're going to locate the collide behavior. So we'll drag and drop that. And we want to make sure from this tab that we choose the ground. Make sure that you don't choose anything else like the background. So we're going to choose ground. And for our hero to actually come in contact with the ground, we need to give our hero some gravity. So what we're going to do is take the very first attribute, accelerate, and we're going to drag and drop that into our hero's brain as well. And we're going to adjust some of the accelerate behaviors. We'll take this dial and push it straight down and type in 270. And then we'll do something like 300 for acceleration. And acceleration, we'll just have this set always relative to the scene. So if our actor were to rotate for some reason, which he's not going to because we're going to set fixed rotation, it's still just a good idea to set this to the scene. And before we hit preview, let's just jump into our Actors Physics tab, open that up. And again, we want to take bounciness down to 0. We're going to keep movable checked because unlike our ground surface, we do want our main character to be able to move. But we are going to check fixed rotation. We kind of don't want him to rotate as he's moving around. So all we did here was add collide and accelerate. And collide, of course, is with the ground. And if we were to preview this, you can see that our actor does fall a little bit and then, of course, comes in contact with the ground. So what you should have set up by now from watching this video is you should have your ground surface set up and aligned with your background and lining up perfectly. And you should be able to get your hero to fall with a little bit of gravity that we created and, of course, come in contact with that ground. In the next video, we're going to work on the left and right movement mechanics and, of course, the very important jump mechanics.